Aaron Rodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying this over and over and over and over again. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers not taking that 2-year extension that the Green Bay Packers offered him, which would have made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. No. It is because of the president and the GM of the Green Bay Packers is why Aaron Rodgers has come out and said numerous amount of times, trade me. I don't want to be here. I don't want to play for this organization anymore. I want to move on. But, of course, the Green Bay Packers wanted to stab him in the back. And what did they do? In the first round of this year's draft, they decided to bring in a corner that was a third-round talent. When they could have had Elijah Moore, they could have had all these different wide receivers that were available where they were positioned in the draft, they decided to draft a third-round wide receiver. Now, it doesn't mean he won't be good. It doesn't mean that he won't be a Devontae Adams-like player. Devontae Adams was a second-round draft pick, but was a first-round talent. When I look at Aaron Rodgers and I look at where he is in his life, he's getting married. He doesn't want to put his all with one team that doesn't want him there or doesn't want to respect him. He's been to back-to-back years of NFC title games, and he has won an MVP last year. He's at the top of his game at the age of 36, going to be 37. What does that tell you? It tells you trade him, but they won't. So now Pro Football came out yesterday and said that Aaron Rodgers next week could come out and say that he's going to retire. And that would be a catastrophe for the NFL. It really would. For a player of that magnitude at the top of his game, really top of his game, he's going to leave the NFL because the Green Bay Packers want to stab him in the back. And they don't want to do what he wants them to do. You have a superstar quarterback. And your ownership, and there is no ownership because obviously the ownership is the fans, okay? Which makes no sense. It's crazy to say that. But to me, I look at Aaron Rodgers, if he retires and if he does go to Jeopardy, which more than likely that's where he's going, if he leaves, it would hurt the NFL. This wouldn't benefit the NFL. It would hurt the Green Bay Packers. It would hurt the NFC. What do the NFC have to look forward for? The San Francisco 49ers, who is not 100%. You don't even know what they are this year. The Rams, they have a Matthew Stafford who is going to play for the first time with McVay's offense. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, Seattle with Russell Wilson who wants out over there. I mean, there's nothing in the NFC that really stands out. There's no Drew Brees. There's just, guess who? Tom Brady. That's who it is. Tom Brady, who won the Super Bowl last year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So what is there to look forward to this year in the NFC? Nothing. And to me, that is a catastrophe for the league. It makes it really look bad. And Roger Goodell should step in and just tell the Green Bay Packers, just move him. Move him. Get as much as you possibly can for this kid and let him go. But they won't do it. And guys, I want to know your opinion because I don't know what to say anymore. I am just disgusted. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I want this guy to be here. He is the best player in my eyes in the NFL right now, and he needs to play in the NFL. There should not be an early retirement where in 2 years he says, you know what, I want to come back, and his career is practically over. We've seen this already. Brett Favre, we've seen it. I don't want to see it again. This is not Brett Favre-esque, and Brett Favre came back strong. Eventually, not with the Jets, but he came back strong with the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, he went all the way to the NFC title game and then lost. But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter. I don't want it to turn into Brett Favre-esque. So what are your opinions to it?
I think when you look at the situation, I feel like with Aaron Rodgers, it's a matter of, I don't know if his heart is even all in football anymore.
Oh, it is.
Jeopardy thing.
It is.
I don't think so. I think once the Jeopardy thing came out, he probably said, I could make millions and millions and millions of dollars doing this without getting hit and having to study so much. I could just show up on TV pre-record shows 2 or 3 days a week, get paid millions of dollars, and load it up on 2 or 3 days and then have free time on my schedule. I think you're going to obviously take that over having to play football all the time. I think it's a no-brainer. Look, if somebody asked me, would you rather play football or would you rather do Jeopardy and record the show 3 times a week and make just as much money doing that? I'd rather do the Jeopardy show. I think it just is. It makes it better for your future, for your health, for your family, for everything. So to me, I don't even know if Rodgers – I understand he doesn't like the Green Bay Packers, and that's all well and good. But at the same time, once he got this Jeopardy gig and he was a guest host which, by the way, I was not, and I love Jeopardy. I was not a big fan of his, but it looks like they're probably going to pick him. To me, I just think it's going to end up him just leaving it all together, and he just seems like a very laid back, loose kind of guy. That's just I just feel like his heart is just not all in to football anymore.
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm not. I don't think I am wrong. I think when you
why is he doing Tom Brady? Why is he doing Tom Brady's diet? He's doing that because he wants to play more years.
That's fine,
that
but if they offered him two things, would you rather do football and dedicate your life to Jeopardy? I think he's
football.
Choose Jeopardy.
He loves football.
He loves football, but he just seems like the kind of guy that will take the Jeopardy job.
I watched the documentary the other day on Aaron Rodgers when he was drafted, okay? And how upset he was that he wasn't drafted by the San Francisco 49ers.
Hey, he's always upset, though.
No, but I watched the documentary, and I listened to his parents. I listened to his family when they were sitting there and waiting for his name to be called. And Aaron Rodgers pretty much said, I love this game just as much as anything. I don't care more about anything but football. It's hard to believe, being that he's at the top of his game, that he's just going to walk away from something he absolutely adores and loves. The studying is a part of it. I mean, he loves to study. He loves to understand the game and reading defenses and understanding what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are offensively. He loves it. Calling audibles at the line of scrimmage, he's the best at doing that. Moving the pocket the way he really has restructured and redeveloped and understood the game of football and becoming a mobile quarterback and really bringing that in a completely different way to the league that made Patrick Mahomes what he is, Deshaun Watson, these guys, Russell Wilson. He's the one that has really brought this level of game to the league. So to me, I can't see him walking away from it right now. I can't. And I'm telling you right now, all this is smoke. I really do believe that. Odd makers are saying that I don't care what odd makers are saying. Aaron Rodgers hasn't spoken, okay? And Aaron Rodgers has pretty much said that he wants to play till his 40s. Why would he walk away from it now? Because of Jeopardy? Are you kidding me? Sitting there on a game show? There's no way he's going to last the whole season watching football and doing Jeopardy. There's just no way. I don't believe it. I think it's smoke. I think it's just a way. And if he does retire, he'll only retire for 1 year, and then he can come back and go to another team.
He'll pull a swerve just like the guy that he wasn't even close with in Brett Favre and do the exact same thing. And he questioned what Brett Favre did at the time, but yet he's going to probably end up doing the exact same thing. So him being a hypocrite, I guess, kind of fits the mold of what Aaron Rodgers can be at times. But to me, I think if you're Green Bay, and then you have the whole situation now with Davante Adams and those talks breaking down, I think it's time to just restart. I think it's time to just go to a rebuild, figure it out, and just go from there. They're a smart organization.
Really?
The last few years,
not this year. Not the last couple of years.
Not this year.
They're not a smart organization.
Well, they were smart when they had, what's his name as the GM.
Here's the only thing smart about that organization. They drafted Aaron Rodgers.
Ted Thompson passed away.
We could sit here, may he rest in peace, by the way. I don't want to get into the conversation of who the GM is. It's make your star happy.
Well, this GM for the Packers suck.
Make your star happy. That's the whole point. He is your star. I don't want to hear about Davante Adams. You're going to pay Davante Adams $100 million. I'm just tired of it, and I don't want to hear it. I don't care what odds makers are saying, what pro football is saying. He's not retiring. I don't believe it. And Davante Adams, I believe, will actually pry him and make him play this year with the Green Bay Packers, and then he'll make a decision next year where he is going to go. I just don't know if he wants to even give the Green Bay Packers an opportunity to win a Super Bowl where that makes them happy. I think he just wants to completely disrupt anything that they're doing over there. That's what I think.
Wouldn't that be funny if he does that for Brett Favre? Brett Favre sits out a year, then Kirk Cousins' contract expires, he goes signs with the Vikings to start over there.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Wouldn't shock me.
Anyways,
what he does.
A very important coach passed away this week for the New York Jets. And I will say this, and I know a lot of people, when we talk about the Jets and we talk about everything that's gone on with all the craziness, we don't realize how important life is until it's gone. And this is a guy that we don't even know personally. And what happened to Greg Knapp about a week ago on a bike, riding his bike in California, minding his own business, getting ready for the regular season, training camp. He got hit by a motorist. Everybody, all the analysts and the news that we heard made it seem like he was going to come out of this. He was going to be fine. And then he passes away on Thursday. It's an absolute catastrophe. It really is. 58 years old. Really a guy that is very, very well respected around the league. A lot of people think he's the godfather for the quarterback play of Peyton Manning and the growth of Peyton Manning and many, many quarterbacks that came into this league. And it's a shame because Zach Wilson, who was a young quarterback, a growing quarterback for the New York Jets and had the opportunity to work with Greg Knapp in rookie camps and all that other stuff, to lose a coach of this magnitude and the Jets losing a coach and this family losing a father, a brother, it's a catastrophe. It's a sad, sad story. My heart goes out to the Knapp family. It really does. It's very hard to fill in a void of a father, a brother, and a person like this from an organization and a Jets standpoint. And Robert Saleh said it best, that not only will he be missed, we lost a good man in this world. It's a sad story. As a Jet fan, it only makes me think that the Jets are hexed or whatever you want to call it. It never works in a way where you think, oh, I can't wait for this season. We got a great coaching staff. We have a great quarterback. We have a great this. We have a great that. To lose Greg Knapp before the season starts, it really puts a damper on training camp. So, again, my heart goes out to the Knapp family.
I think when everything is all said and done and you see it, I think now would be the time. And, of course, this is not to take away from the Knapp family and everything. Of course, I wrote on Twitter after it happened, condolences go out to the family and loved ones of his. And now you're reading reports that the Jets are trying to now go all in on a quarterback like a Nick Foles because that there needs to be some sort of veteran presence in the room for Zach Wilson. And, of course, this is not to take away from Greg Knapp and the passing of that, but at the same time, when you lose a guy like a Greg Knapp who was going to be a big piece of what Zach Wilson's development was, and he's gone, and there's really no time to replace him, I think the next best thing is to get a veteran quarterback in the building to be over his shoulder and help him out and do everything you possibly can to basically let him spread his wings and do what he needs to do to really succeed in this league. There should have been a veteran quarterback in this room in the first place. To have James Morgan and others as the backup quarterbacks right now, it's just, if that was how they were going to go into the season with this, it's completely inexcusable and ridiculous that was going to be casted away by Joe Douglas to let that happen. But this gives it more of a prime reason as to why there needs to be a veteran presence in this locker room for the New York Jets. And, of course, condolences to the Knapp family, and very, very, very unfortunate sad news that happened this past week.
Absolutely. As far as the Jets are concerned, Zach Wilson needs to be signed. I don't know what Joe Douglas is doing. He signed Elijah Moore. He signed Elijah Vera Tucker. So we know that he's slowly but surely moving to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson should have been his number one priority. And why, a week and a half away from going into training camp, and he's not signed, it's starting to get me worried. And Mike McCagnon did the same thing with Sam Darnold. And again, you don't want to go into training camps without your starting quarterback, a guy that you are depending on to be there and learn and understand what the player's strengths and the weaknesses are. So that has to change. And Joe Douglas needs to figure this out as soon as possible. In Joe, I trust. For all the Jet fans out there, you have to trust that Joe Douglas is going to do the right thing. I do believe he will. As far as the Giants are concerned, this Saquon Barkley thing. Saquon Barkley's been all over different TV shows, the NFL Network, wherever. And he's been interviewed. He thinks that he'll be ready for training camp. This is a man that tore his ACL and MCL in the beginning of the season. He's been out for a full year. We have seen Adrian Peterson come back from the same injury in 6 months, okay? This guy has been out for a year, and he isn't 100%. I'm telling you right now, if he doesn't start the season, and some people believe that he might not start the season, if he doesn't start the season for the New York Giants, I'll say it again, I'll say it when he was drafted. It was a complete catastrophe. It should have never happened. Gettleman should have never drafted Saquon Barkley. And not that I don't like Saquon Barkley. I think he's a fantastic running back, one of the top 5 running backs in the league, and he only had one good season. Okay? We saw the lights and the fire in this guy's eyes when he was at the top of his game as a rookie. The only problem with Saquon Barkley that I've argued about was because of his legs and his knees and all that weight on his upper body on his small frame. That's what I said. I just don't like the fact that, remember, running backs have 5 great years in the NFL and maybe 2 good years. Saquon's missed 2 of them. So what does that tell you? It tells you that if Saquon doesn't have a season that really stands out this year, It was an absolute bust drafting him at number 2.
You shouldn't draft the running back top 5 overall, let alone 2nd overall.
It's a complete.
That never
bust.
been done in the first place.
It's terrible. And I think the Giant fans are going to complain. They're going to argue about it. I think the Giants need to figure out a way to get this guy on the field.